We want to graph k of x equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 3, and we're going to use plotting points to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a bunch of x's, and I'm going to get out a bunch of outputs, which is actually k. So I'm going to start with the normal ones. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. I always want to start, 0 is always a nice one to start with. I also want negatives and positives just to make sure I have everything on here to get a big enough picture to know what's going on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug negative 2 into here. So I get k of negative 2 is negative negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2 plus 3. So we end up getting negative 2 squared, which is positive 4, but that positive 4 is going to be negative. So this is going to be negative 4 minus 4, because 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 3. So that's negative 8 plus 3 is just negative 5. So when my input is negative 2, my output is negative 5. So I'm going to put negative 5 right here. Now we're going to plug in negative 1. So we get k of negative 1 equals negative negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1. Now remember your parentheses. Right here, if you don't remember your parentheses, you're going to think that this is just negative 1 squared, which you're going to think is negative 1, but it's actually the full negative 1 squared. So this becomes negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. The negative of that is negative 1. Minus 2 plus 3, which ends up being 0. So here, when x is negative 1, y is going to be 0. Okay, now we're going to plug in 0. So 0 is easy, mainly because if I have k of 0, it is going to be negative 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 3. So here we got 0 plus 3, which is going to be just 3. So when I input a 0, I will get out a 3. So I'm going to put a 3 right here. Now for x equals 1, k of 1 equals negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 3. This equals negative 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So 4 goes here. When x equals 2, k of 2 is going to be negative 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 3. So this becomes negative 2 squared, which is 4, plus 4 plus 3, which ends up just being 3. So there's going to be a 3 right here. Now we got a bunch of points. So I'm going to plot my points. Negative 2, negative 5 is right here. Negative 1, 0 is going to be right here. 0, 3 is right here. 1, 4 is right here. And then 2, 3 is right here. Now, if you notice, we kind of have a piece of what it might look like, but we need more information. So I'm going to go, I know what everything looks like over here. I want to know what it's going to look like over here on this end. So I'm going to pick more x values that are bigger than 2. So I'm going to try a 3. Plug in a 3. K of 3 equals negative 3 squared plus 2 times 3 plus 3. And you end up getting negative 9 plus 6 plus 3, which ends up being 0. So a 0 goes here. I plot that. It's going to look like this. It's going to start down here, come up here, go through these points, and come down this way. And we just assume it goes on forever because my domain, I can plug whatever I want in here, so the domain is going to be anything. So it's going to go on forever.